Hi, I'm Callum from the Next Web, and today we're coming at you from our lockdown in Amsterdam, as you can tell by my quarantine beard and fluffy hair. So this is being filmed in my study on my iPhone, which is relevant because today we're going to be talking about Apple's upcoming iPhone 12, specifically what we can expect to see from the handset, as well as some things we'd love to see included but probably aren't going to happen. So enough chatting, let's just dive straight in. Like the iPhone 11, we expect to see 3 iPhone 12s, an entry-level version and 2 Pro models, one regular sized and one Max. At the moment, it's tough to say. iPhones normally release in September, but with the global pandemic, this date is looking more and more likely to be pushed back. So we're just going to have to wait and see, because there's even a chance they could come in 2021. So what things do analysts and experts expect to see in the iPhone 12? Well, let's go through some. One interesting rumour is that we'll see a big change in the overall design of the iPhone 12, with some of the renders first coming out being reminiscent of that gorgeous iPhone 4. Effectively, this would mean a squarer design with sharper edges. I've got no idea whether this will pan out or not, but the iPhone is due for an aesthetic redesign. While we expect the number of cameras to stay the same, they'll probably all get a megapixel bump. The biggest potential change though is the introduction of a time of flight sensor. Basically, this is like a light version of sonar. Fires out infrared rays and then tracks when they bounce back to the lens, effectively creating a 3D map of an area. There are 2 big benefits of this. The first is improved photography, as the iPhone will be able to separate the background from the foreground with far more accuracy. Bokeh shots are a good example of this. The second is AR. Being able to accurately 3D map an area will make augmented reality experiences far more realistic and engaging. So watch out for Apple concentrating on this space in the coming months and years. It's doubtful we'll see the same leaps in battery life as from the iPhone X to the iPhone 11, which in the Pro models squeezed several hours of extra juice out of the phones, but we will see a bit of an upgrade, probably a more of an iterative one, where we'll get a little bit more runtime out of your device, but it won't be quite as seismic. It's rumoured that the next 3 iPhones will all have OLED screens, something that currently only the iPhone 11 Pro models have. On top of this, there's also a rumour going around that the Pro models of the iPhone 12 will have 120Hz displays. Currently, all of the iPhones only have 60Hz screens. What this means for the user's perspective is that you'll get a far more fluid, smoother browsing and scrolling experience on your iPhone 12 than you would have done on previous models. There are lots of conflicting reports about whether Apple will or won't include 5G in its upcoming iPhone 12. Some analysts are pointing towards the global pandemic and growing public indifference, but I think some of the more leading and trustworthy experts are on the train that yes, it will be in the iPhone 12 that 5G will finally arrive. Whether or not that's going to happen, we're just going to have to wait and see. It appears the iPhone 12 is about to get significantly more powerful than its predecessors. A leak of the upcoming A14 processor, the chip that will be used in the new models, was benchmarked, and well, the results were damn impressive. Without getting bogged down in details, some folks believe it'd be the fastest chip in a phone ever and give the iPhone 12 better performance than the current 12.9-inch iPad. Whichever way you look at it, that is wild. And what might Apple do with all this extra power? Well, my guess is something in AR. But what this is, who knows? Effectively, the company has to do something that grabs people's attention and really makes the technology seem viable and futuristic. And currently, there's nothing out there at the minute that looks to fulfill that potential. Now, these next bits aren't concrete examples of what might come. No, they are just some pie-in-the-sky dreams of a die-hard Apple fan. You know, the stuff that you would love to see Apple include on its phones, but you know is never going to happen. But that shouldn't stop us dreaming, so let's get into it. Honestly, it's ugly as hell and I hate how it looks, even after living with it for all these years. Still, while it might sound simple, and as much as I'd love Apple to just completely drop it, one of the reasons stopping them moving to, say, a cutout display is the sheer amount of Face ID tech in the notch. But there is a rumour going round that Apple will manage to reduce the size of the notch this time round, but that's not been totally confirmed. All I can say is, Apple, I believe in you. You can do it. Again, this isn't going to happen for two main reasons. One is it will make the phone less water and dust proof, and the second is that Apple makes a decent amount of cash replacing old phone batteries. Now, the EU might force Apple to do this anyway, but it would be nice if the company decided by itself just to get rid of the Lightning connector and add USB-C support onto the iPhone 12 instead. But don't hold your breath. Touch ID and fingerprint scanners are, in my mind, still the best and most reliable way of unlocking your phone, and I've never really recovered from when Apple took it away. But a brilliant new trend has seen some phone manufacturers put a fingerprint scanner on the side of the device, you know, where the power or select button is. And this is just a fantastic idea, and I'd love to see Apple do the same. Look, you can keep Face ID, it's useful at points, but why not, for me, just put a fingerprint scanner on the side of the iPhone 12 as well. So there you have it, a selection of rumours from analysts and experts, and a few sprinklings on the top of stuff we'd love to see. Of course, with Apple being so tight-lipped about what's coming up with its iPhones, it's really hard to tell how much of this is reality and how much of it is just random speculation. I guess all we can do is wait, enjoy the process, and just see what the company puts out with the iPhone 12. At the very least, it's going to be an interesting few months. Until next time, peace out.